All right, Tom.
All right, here we go.
It's been a while.
It's been a while with trips down south, and we're both proud grandpas now. We do some babysitting,
Yes, we do.
and
Oh, gosh.
we're both arthritic messes.
I can barely move.
Now, I had my second cortisone shot, so hopefully that'll start kicking in. But that's the joys of elderly, I guess.
Yeah,
Right? My dad warned me about it. Getting old stinks.
Yeah, my grandma said, don't get old. Don't get old, Wayne.
Now,
Grandma can't stop it.
I don't know. I think I felt a drop, or I just got shit on by a bird. But anyways,
It's a little white now.
we'll start off quick. Bills, not much going on. They just got through their mini camp. Now they broke for camp. Camp, of course, will be in July.
End of July, yeah, 23rd down in over in St. John, Vianney. No, I'm kidding, St. John Fisher. I don't go there anymore, quite frankly. It's turned into a little bit of a circus, and they don't make it easy. So, you know.
St. John Fredonia was the best.
Yes, it was.
Niagara U was great. I was a little fella then.
We were young,
Your dad, my dad would take us.
Tom, were we ever little fellas?
Well, age, youngsters, okay.
Youngster, yeah.
But Fredonia was the best. You could sit there. They used to practice like at 11 in the morning or 9, and then again
2
at like
days.
3. And you could like take a picnic lunch, sleep in the van, whatever, and then watch both practices, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Went for the stadium experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like your boys, you went with your boys.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of neat. That the replica stadium they have there was
That's
pretty
really
cool.
By the way, my boys are on the Bills side.
They are?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, visitor side. You guys went to Bills. Okay. Doesn't matter.
We were told early on by some people that there was pressure and stuff like that. There was no pressure here. It was a young kid. He works for Legends, and they gave us options. And we went for it. We're a sports family like you guys. I told the kids a little less under the tree, but no, our family enjoys it. I had 2 seats. My son Tommy wanted his own, and of course, that would give us the 3, and or he could have one of mine, and there would have been some hoops and whistles and stuff to do. So, I mean, he's Tom Mullen, I'm Tom Mullen, so we were able to get the 3, and our good friend and Sean's Meats, the well-known cook, TV chef,
Former Marine and really high-class drunk, but go ahead.
but great kid too, by the way.
Yes, he is.
And he was with us, so we needed 4, and that took us from where they originally offered us, upper deck, and I didn't want to do the stairs and stuff, and we ended up where we could only find 4 was either the lower bowl, what they call, I guess, the 100s, and
that would have been real expensive.
The seat licensing there goes like 550, 506. That's getting out of our what we could afford. So we ended up getting the last row of what they call the 300.
There's only 12 rows in that one, I think. 10 or 12.
In the 300?
Yeah.
Well, we're in the last row of
nice.
it. The nice thing for me, you come in and you step down.
Yeah.
And I'm right
it's
there.
like it's the 200 at the arena. Like
Yes,
you come in, you
exactly
step
like
down,
that.
and there's only about 12 rows there.
Or you don't step down at all if you're in the last row.
Yeah.
Which I would love to do for bandits, but my kids don't. But and there's a handicap platform behind our section where if we wanted to take Aaron, he could possibly sit right behind us and watch, depending on. The kid wasn't quite sure how you go about getting those.
Yeah.
So whatever.
It's
so
still
anyways,
confusing, even at this stadium. But anyway.
and the guy, they didn't know it. So anyways, we went for it, and it was pretty cool. We're pretty excited about it. I don't think weather is going to be a problem at Bills games anymore.
No, they were just saying in the morning paper too that they're probably not going to have to hire snow kids to come snow shovel.
Unless the lower bowl a little bit.
They said the lower bowl, but they said they'll have a contract, and because you've only got to move it down to the field, and there's like 5 entrances to get out of with dump trucks and stuff, they said it'll be real easy.
And there's also kind of a cool. Getting in is going to be a lot easier, more of a Disney way.
Yep.
And a lot more entrances, and then there's like an in-house area where you can sit, food trucks and stuff, which is, I believe, climate controlled. And
I think it's outside.
It's covered though.
I don't know.
I think he told me it was covered, and because there's bars and stuff there. Now, obviously, you're not going to have 24 drinks. You'll be bankrupt. But it is an option on a really bad day to just go in there and grab a sandwich and a beer, or a lot of times we don't even eat
bring your
these
home
things.
equity. But
Right.
Cool.
But then, and then, if you and I wanted to go to a game and not go to the game, but just take in the experience, you can go into that area, and then you don't have to have a ticket. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's correct. You don't have to go through the turnstiles. It'll be fun. I mean, we're only a year away from that. It's pretty exciting.
The kids said that in the new facility they have chefs, world-renowned chefs that were preparing these meals, and I said to them, look, I don't eat fried Bernie Tati. Give me an affordable hot dog. The truth is, I don't even know if I eat at these
I
games
do
very
not.
often.
Like you said, the best chef is out. The best chefs are in the parking lot.
I told them, I said, honestly, the best chefs go to a tailgate. There's some phenomenal cooks out there, i.e., Sean's Meats, right? Anyways, no, that was the deal. What are you going to do? I don't like the PSLs, but that's what the nature of the beast is doing.
Yeah, you got nothing. There's no option.
I don't want to hear people say, well, if they want the stadium, why don't they pay for it? Well, I guess we did, right? Our PSL is helping build it and stuff. And, we've thrown enough state money and our tax money down to the other end of the shithole for their palaces.
Yeah, we'll get on that a little later, too.
Right.
But, so the Bills, I think they've covered pretty much every, I would say, on paper, their, quote, weaknesses in the offseason. I think the Bills have addressed them with the draft and free agency, and it's obviously it comes down to a lot of things. Where you aren't real deep, don't have any injuries, or not ones that are very lengthy. I mean, it's going to be this team, preseason at least, is favored to win every game that they play. That didn't happen a lot, even with the old New England Patriots with Brady. So it's pretty exciting. We're a hell of a football team, and I'm just hoping God just shines down this time.
Well, a little luck, right?
Yep.
Sometimes
You need luck.
a little bit of luck.
You need luck.
Some people have told me there was a conspiracy that the opening of the new stadium will coincide with the banner raising, and the league wants it that way. Well, you know what? I ain't complaining.
There'll be no complaining here.
You know what? You can't tell me some of those other things. Let's help KC. Let's help this. Let's help that. But the bottom line is we are good enough to do that, and why not, right?
Sure.
One time.
Why not us?
I went to the Bandits. They won their third consecutive championship, and the excitement, you could not hear the horn go off at the end of the game. I listened to the end of the Panthers game. You could hear the horn. Those people were going nuts, but I'm telling you, it would be a magical place if the Bills could win one. And there's no damage afterwards.
No.
I did run outside after we won the Bandits game. There was a guy in a wheelchair, and I pretended I was tipping him.
Then he fell.
We're not burning cars, and
You know what's interesting, and you've heard me say this, but for our viewers, just an incredible statistic that on CW23 there were more people viewing the Bandits' final game than the Stanley Cup Finals in Southwest Florida. Southeast Florida. That's incredible. I mean, but I was told that there are people down there that say basically at the Lauderdale border, that's it. After that, they're Hurricane and Dolphin fans, and they're mostly, and again, not mocking, they're mostly Haitian and Cuban, and they're not going to watch hockey.
Right.
So really, it's
I'm not taking anything away from their fans and everything. No. I just know I was there, and they have a guy that does the play-by-play in lacrosse. They kind of announce during the game. They don't announce the game, but they get the music going, and he, with about 6 minutes to go, he said, "I'm done, Van Atlanta, it's on you," and it really was a great night, and I can only imagine. I wish they'd take a bunch. I know a bunch of Bills were at the game, and in fact, Dwayne Carter was holding the trophy, and now I forget who the other Bill was that was holding it up. Ray Davis, I think it might have been. Yeah. And it was magical, and I just wish we could. If some of the young Sabre kids could see what that place could be like if you perform a little bit.
Well, there was one thing I'd like to say too is that while we watched the NHL Finals and Florida won back-to-back, and I know, I watched Reinhart score 4 goals, 2 empty netters, and said to myself, my God, just when is it going to happen? But you got to step back a little bit, and you got to think about what's happened. Now, it's easy to say the owner blows, this guy blows, everybody blows. However, Jack Eichel, that didn't work out. Him and Reinhart were kind of piss pots here. They weren't part of the team. They stayed separate from the team. Eichel wants to get a surgery that our doctors say don't do it. We trade him. Well, that turned Reinhart into a bit of a piss pot and saying, I'm out. I'm not signing.
Right.
So he goes. Now, what I told people is, number one, Reinhart was a heck of a player here, but he was not a superstar. He had only over 50 points once. Now, I'm not saying he's a bum. I loved him. But he wasn't a superstar. That's number one. Number two, he said, I want out. Number three, we got Devin Levi and Yuri Kulik. Those two guys could be mainstays. Again, I go back to if and can, and I know. But those are two high-quality players that could really be cores of this team for quite a while. So, we did what we did, and here we are.
Well, Florida also had Sam Bennett, who Calgary drafted.
Yeah.
And Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
And let's face it, when we win and we're going to win, we're going to have guys from Dallas or Vancouver.
Yeah, it can't be all homegrown.
But it comes down again to, you'll hear a lot of these people say, tanking destroyed this team. They can't get rid of the taste of losing. No, tanking gets you Eichel, Ekblad, Reinhart, Bennett, McDavid, Drysdale. The best players in the draft are up at the top. We got them. Unfortunately, the surrounding cast, for some, and I don't know how that team with Kane and ROR and that, I don't know.
How did they not win?
Somebody needed to kick Jack's ass back when he was young, but it comes back to patience, right? And many of our local hockey gurus were telling us Reinhart can't skate. He's this, he's that. But you're right. He didn't fit here. He didn't mature until he got down there. And sometimes it takes time, and you fit into a type of a puzzle, like we've said here. It takes patience. And when the light bulbs start going off, and like we've said in our show here, Yuri Kulik,
light bulbs are going off.
The Sabres knew those guys were good. They drafted them.
Right.
But young kids, and in the NHL, for example, with hockey, they don't know how to make a bad team good because they never had to. Jack Eichel's playing for the Junior Whalers. Psst, come here. Come join the Junior Bruins.
Yeah.
And down the road they go. So they want to go to a preset winning situation. Let's jump to McDavid for a minute. He's disgusted. They lost. Of course, they talked to him right after the loss, banging his head against the wall. What can we do here? And you'll hear a lot of the commentators, including ours here, well, what does Edmonton do to surround him with the talent? Now, I'm not going to blame McDavid, but let's just go with that fact for a minute. Okay, when he sits down for his contract, he doesn't say, well, you know what, I'm only going to take 8.
Yeah.
Because I need help around me. No, he takes whatever he gets. He needs to make the guys around him better, which, for the most part, he did. He's a great player, but a lot of these experts want to say, well, they got to bring more help in. Well, no, he's got to raise the level.
There's also a cap, and
in a no-trade league.
That's the other thing.
They keep saying, well, make the super trade here, make that trade there. Where are all these trades being made? There's little ones, everybody has the no-trade
well, that's just it.
list.
So, Marchman, you and I talked offline about Marchman and what a good guy he'd be to come here and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? He had a 10-team no-trade clause. We were on it. So he just went to Seattle yesterday for a lousy 3rd and a 4th. But we couldn't do it.
And it's not the weather or the women or the food. Is it a little bit to do with the economy? Yes.
Yep.
Taxes do make a point. But when we start kicking in the gear, they ain't going to care about taxes.
That's right.
Because some of those shitholes, like California, tax you unbelievably.
Do you know that the NFL, that they're going to vote on doing an equalization?
I think they need to look at that.
And they turned it down this time. But what they got to do is look at Canada and states like us that tax heavily.
Because
say, wait a minute, you don't have to pay JJ Paterka here.
Right.
Down there he gets $7 million. Up here he gets 8.
Right.
And the cap's only 7.
And the NHL Network was reporting that Jim Nill had a deal with his players, signed for a little less here because the taxes in Texas are different.
They're nothing. No state tax.
And he would make sure he traded them to a team a state or area that doesn't have taxes either, i.e. Marchman to Seattle.
They don't have Washington state tax.
The bottom line too is, going back to my original statement, okay, everybody wants to go somewhere. We're hearing now Talk. He just wants to win. They don't spend to the cap. What are we going to have? Like an 8-team league?
I know.
I mean, the league is as good as its worst team.
And I'll tell you something, Tom. You and I talked about this. If Alex Tuck's really talks, I'll start again. If Alex Tuck, what the?
It's tough to say quick.
Alex Tuck turns to the Sabres and says, "Get rid of me. I don't want to stay." I mean, just fold. This is absurd. And by the way, I keep hearing on that stupid radio station. Well, you got to package the ninth and go. Guess what? How many top 10 draft picks have been traded in the last 30 years?
It's unbelievable.
Except for swapping picks. And I'm talking about getting a player. It's almost impossible.
Going back to these experts with McDavid and stuff. When is it going to be on the players?
Yeah.
It's the coaching. They didn't get rid of the GM. They didn't fire this guy. When is Lindy Ruff didn't leave a guy open in front of his net?
The hot dogs aren't cooked enough.
Lindy Ruff didn't stick handle pipe 5 guys at the blue line. Seth Appert didn't say, "Come here, pass the puck all around to the outside and then shoot pucks either into his tits or in the crowd." No. When is it going to be on the players?
Can we say tits?
Can we surround him with more help? Well, are we all going to play in the Eastern Conference All-Star team? And these players sometimes have to, the good players bring the other guys around them better. And I think with maturity, who's going to want to go to Buffalo? Well,
they will.
In all honesty, nobody's on the Calgary list. Nobody's on the Winnipeg list.
No.
And why is it? Well, one of the reasons is palm trees, right? People don't want to take their families to another country.
And extremely high taxes, way more than the
weather is not great there, and the taxes. So, guys, it does play a role, and when Kevin Adams tells you that, it's fact. All right.
Getting to the obviously some of the big things we need. JJ Peterka, okay. No one has ever heard him say he wants out. All right. So what we got to do is they got to sit him down and say, JJ, you're part of our core. We want you. We want to stay here. Now, if he tells him right to his face, I hate this place, I don't want to be here, you've got to trade him because you can't have a guy in there. That's a cancer. So then you've got to me, you look to trade him. If somebody gives an offer sheet, you got plenty of cap, you sign the offer sheet, you keep him and then trade him. But he can't go for nothing. I don't want draft picks.
Going back to the cap again, to our local guy here, our hockey guru, one of the final cuts from the Miracle on Ice, he said we're $23 million under the cap right now.
Right.
With about 7 guys unsigned. I'm not going to count them up right now.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he said to get Jason Robertson from the Dallas Stars. Dallas is trying to get some cap room because they want to sign some guys. Okay. Mm-hmm. Robertson's making about 7. Mm-hmm. Paul Hamilton said this. Take Taylor Seguin.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And his $9 million. And bring them here to get Robertson. That's $16 million off the 23, which leaves us with 7. And you got 7 guys unsigned. And I don't think Peterka's taking $1 million. And you still got to give a deal to Tuck, which again would kick in next year. But this is the stupidity.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people out there listening to that shit station go, he's right.
He's right.
Go do it. $23 million is going to get gobbled up pretty quick. The Sabres, to get better, it's going to take a trade.
Yeah, we're not getting free agents. We've done our drafting.
We've done that route too.
Yeah.
Now, they also said on that great station, whatever it takes to get Brad Marchand here. All right, 37-year-old, 38-year-old Brad Marchand. Let's give him $9 million. No. He's played a lot of hockey. If you want to go nuts, I'm bringing Mitch Marner and sit and talk to him.
Yeah.
Right? I'll go 12 for Mitch Marner.
Before I go 9 for Marner. But the thing with Marner is it would be a long-term contract. It's a lot of money. Personally, I say let Marner, and he's not coming here anyway, to be very honest.
You never know, but I would. There's not a whole lot of places to land.
Actually, there are. I just heard today that there's only 4 or 5 teams in cap jail. One of them is Dallas. Many. Boston's got $43 million.
All right, then.
So Pittsburgh's got $38 million. So here we go.
Yes.
They're going to retool.
But tell me who's unsigned there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying.
Right.
I don't know, but that's a lot of money to fit in Marner. The Sabres are close. If this July 1st works out, you extend Tuck if he's all in. You keep JJ Peterka. You keep the, why do I keep forgetting his name? The center from Vancouver.
Ryan McLeod.
McLeod. You got to keep McLeod. That's a great third line center. And you start getting these guys together. Now, we got a couple guys, you got guys in that maybe not ready this year, okay, like an Oslin or a Constas Hellenius.
Yep.
Those guys are going to be good hockey players. Get a couple guys by a trade, okay, and let's play some hockey. There's no, we have enough talent here, maybe except another quality stay-at-home D. We have enough talent here if the goaltending holds up to make the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Whatever the Sabres do in this offseason to get better is going to have to involve a trade.
It has to.
And
It has to.
We have to sign some guys. Obviously, some of these guys aren't going to break the bank, but you do have to sign them.
Yep.
And bridge deals are great, but whatever. Do look, though, for a little bit less term in these contracts now, because
Well, you don't want to give 8 to a Tuck. He'd be 38 years old.
But even the league is going to. They say the cap's going up next year and the year after.
Right.
The players themselves, a guy like Tuck, obviously, I'm thinking a 5-year deal.
Right.
And you might have to give him a little more a year. But if you wanted to get a Marner, maybe a 5-year deal for something.
Well, exactly. And they're talking about how because of the cap, they already think that Rasmus Dahlin is a complete steal at $11 million.
Right, and that was the idea behind the stupidity of Pagula and Adams.
Yeah.
By signing these guys at a young,
Well,
trusting them young.
$7 million for
Right.
Cage.
And unless it starts, that's all guaranteed, baby. So I don't want to hear I'm holding out, I'm not paying
Yeah,
enough.
no, it's guaranteed.
It's all guaranteed.
Now, we made some missteps, okay? We've paid, we probably shouldn't have paid Samuelson for 7 or 8 years. And I'm not saying he's a bum, but it's iffy there. But the other one, who's the one? It was Cousins.
Right.
We gave him $7 million. I thought the Cousins of year 1 and 2, I was all for it. Something happened with the
And
kid.
I still think he could be a good player, but we ended up swapping him for Josh Norris, who's a good player. Sometimes injured.
Yeah, I hope he stays healthy, because everything I've read on this guy in the offseason is he's a scary guy. He's good. So, come on.
He
again,
could be
to
good.
your luck.
And especially if you can roll him out as a 2 center,
Right.
where he's going against a little bit different competition. Look for a trade. I would really love that Jason Robertson out of Dallas.
Who wouldn't?
And look for something there involving a prospect. And
We'll pick up Guy Lachette from him. He's got a $12 million contract. You can pick up Guy Lachette and Robertson for 20, and then you're all set. I'd do anything.
But maybe that's where you throw in Peterka.
Yeah. Well, if he doesn't want to play your time, you got it.
Because he's a $7 million, but then that doesn't make sense because they're trying to get rid of $7.
Yeah. Now he's there. Everybody says that Peterka looks to be about 7.8 to 8 million, and that's the new NHL boys. Remember when 8 million was like untouchable?
Right. But it's all going up, and it's kind of an exciting time.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for whatever's going to happen is going to be a trade of some sort. Yeah. So
we're getting close.
We should start seeing something soon. For the draft, if we don't do a show before the draft, I love Porter Martone and Roger McQueen. Give me one of those 2 guys next Friday night, and I'll be a happy camper.
Well, Roger McQueen, he's the guy that was he was in the Disney movie.
He is.
What's his
He's
first name?
Lightning McQueen's son.
Yes, he is.
And it would make my grandson so thrilled. But no, that could be a nice fall.
So McQueen's the guy that's had a back injury and says he's fine. And that's the only reason you'd even be able to sniff him at 9.
Otherwise, he's top 3.
He's top 3.
Porter
Martone
likes to use the mitts.
Is a very similar guy, Martone, but they got him going in the top 6.
Some.
The 2D. Now I know Pronman yesterday thought we would get Martone. Then the 2D are this Murtka from Czech, and what's it, Kivishon?
Keyshawn.
That's his last name.
Keyshawn.
Atchison. But they said that Murka is kind of like Tyler Myers, and okay.
No, Tyler Myers was fine. He got effed over by Lindy the first time around.
Yeah, I know.
Who the hell can play with Yaroslav Spotnik?
Come on, he was great. Well,
but
again, we're going to the cock thing.
Yeah, I can't. Whenever I think of that guy, it just upsets me. Lindy with his yoke and Hash and those guys.
Oh, I know. Anyway, fun times coming up here. I think the Sabres should hold on to that pick. They're going to get a good player.
I do too.
And when I say I think they should, listen, if I really believe they could take the 9th pick and add in one of our prospects that we don't really think is going to make it and come out with an NHL player, I'd say do it all day. But I don't think it's happening.
They also, the guy today said, well, Savoy, it wasn't what they wanted. We don't know what Savoy's going to be, but
kid.
It takes something to get something.
And by the way, don't give up on a 19-year-old kid.
No, man, but if we do throw in Rosine, that doesn't mean he's not going to do it. But you got to give something to get something.
But don't give up on the prospects where you and your scouts say, this guy's got something, and you've got to wait till they're 23, 24, because they're not. Look at Tage Thompson.
Time.
Tage Thompson came out here. I thought he looked like Bambi on ice. He would fall. He would look like Ichabod Crane. Last year, 44 goals, the #1 American-born scorer.
Yeah, did well for Team USA. But, again, Donnie Granato saw something in that guy, and they were quick to throw Donnie under the bus. But whatever.
Yep.
You got to start looking at the players, boys. They're the ones that actually play.
Yeah, they're right. That's right. So
Lastly,
Sabres, anyway, we'll see.
Lastly, that'll be fun. As far as the climate right now, thank God we got Donald Trump as president with this Iranian bullshit.
Yeah.
And the protest over here, I'm up to here with the Palestine, Queers for Palestine, really? That's like a guy in a fur jacket protesting for PETA.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are you talking about?
They'll shoot you dead.
These Rump Rangers get thrown off rooftops in Iran. and again,
we don't care. Listen, you can be gay, you can do anything you want. But the fact that it's Queers for Palestine, they'll shoot you dead.
Now, our colleges have brainwashed these kids so bad. Bottom line, we know a few clowns that went down to the anti-king rally.
Yeah.
You are a spineless jellyfish, a mindless sheep. Because that rally for our troops, that parade was planned 2 years ago with Heil Shitstick, all right, who they thought was going to win.
Yeah.
By the way, they caught ICE, that horrible ICE, caught a murderer, child molesting piece of shit. They grabbed him and he said, no, I have immunity. Biden gave him some type of immunity in the final days of his presidency. A vote for Democrats is a vote for satanic socialism. All right?
Amen.
Venezuela, don't cry for me, Venezuela. This Elon Omar with her kebab. And what has Iran done? Iran has killed Americans and threatened to kill more. Go back to Somalia.
Yeah, and she says she'd rather live. Iran's a much better society than America.
Then go.
Then get the hell out.
So did Whoopi Goldshit. I don't know what Sam Malone saw in that guy. I'll be honest with you. She said
he didn't do her.
Blacks are being killed on the streets of the U.S. and hung. What year are you thinking about? All right?
Come on.
Iran would be a better place. Give me a break, Goldberg, quote unquote. No, but these Democrats are satanic. Look at Democratic-run cities and states.
They're a mess.
Karen Bass comes out. The president doesn't understand. Taking away all these illegals, they do the minor chores for us. Who's going to do that? Wipe your own ass, Karen, front to back. All right? Listen,
front to back.
My pedicurist is an American citizen.
She's from Vietnam, but she's an American citizen.
She's an American citizen. What are you talking about? And by the way, they're not picking watermelon and strawberries. They're sitting around eating filet on our tax dime.
Yeah, the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan.
And now we got this buck-toothed bitch,
that's
this
Kathy Hochul, by the
bastard, who gave $50 million of our money to defend these people. And by the way, the guy that they arrested with ICE and said Biden, immunity, Biden, his lawyers are paid for by us. It's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop. They drilled her in Congress. Kathy Hochul was there. Her buck-toothed mouth, jaw fell. They were all over, and the one person from Georgia said, so this guy had a machete, he cut somebody up, then he strangled a police officer, then he attacked the CO when they put him in prison, then they let him out because we don't help anybody. Then they found him in Syracuse doing another crime. They put him in jail. ICE called and said, we'll be there in an hour and 10 minutes, we'll take him. They go, well, we don't cooperate with you, and they let him go.
The bitch Attorney General here is charging any New York State police officer that helps ICE.
Well, that's none of your fucking business.
Heil. All right.
It's none of your business. And then she comes out because Tennessee, I think, took the vote and said, we're not going to pay for transgender surgeries. She gets on her horn and says, Come to New York.
I'm
We'll
not
take
paying
care
for
of
that.
you.
My knees are arthritically ripped. They say stem cells will help. Will the state pay for that? But they'll pay for my wienerectomy.
No, but come on. It's illogical.
No, and guys, the left blows.
It's
They're out of
illogical.
control. Willy Wonka and the Wonder Worm to our children. They're mutilating our children. These drag queens are reading books to kids in libraries in Chicago. These little kids don't even know who Marilyn Monroe is, much less it looks like my daddy with the ball sack hanging under the skirt. No, it's evil. It's satanic.
It is.
There's missing children from that shit stain thing.
You know what? You know what I love too is that, and Donald Trump said this one time. He said, "I could throw gold out of a helicopter.
No.
They'd still hate me." And he's right, because now with the Iran thing, there are people saying, "Well, he should be over there bombing right now, bunker busters." Then there's people saying, "Don't get us into war," which I could agree with.
He's a
then
warmonger.
Yeah, right. Then the third one was, well, you shouldn't be helping Jerusalem. Then there's this. There's 15 different things, and every single one of them, he's wrong in.
He threw out the deal that Obama made. Obama sent pallets
$6 billion
of pictures of dead American presidents, i.e. money, over there. And John Kerry's butt was ravaged by the Iranians, and they still made nuclear shit.
$6 billion. But they said, Tom, it was not to go to plutonium. It was to feed the people,
right,
and everything. So
John Kerry,
I believe the Ayatollah over there.
John Kerry, head down, butt up. That guy flies all over the place, but he has to because he's important. We have to walk or take a train and get mugged.
By the way, he's the big climate change guy, and he's in a private jet.
Yeah, it's these satanic socialists, communists. You want to call them whatever you will. They're anti-American. I'm sick of hearing about how bad our country is. Military in the streets. He brought up the military to grab illegals. No, he's protecting the federal building, something Karen Bass and Newscomb couldn't do.
They were attacking police.
Couldn't
so we
do.
got somebody in. I think, we got to look at this too, the climate change. I've heard two facts of late that I think are huge. Number one, the 1930s was the worst weather in the United States history for hurricanes, tornadoes,
a lot of
everything.
cows.
Cows were going up in circles. But this is even bigger. Recently, they did a chemical analysis of the ozone. Okay, do you know how much CO2 is in there? This is, remember, it's ruining us.
Right.
Holes, everything's gone. You know how many? Not CO2. CO, carbon monoxide, less than 1%. In fact, less than 0.25%. So basically, it's not destroying the earth and the ozone because of methane gas and cars. It's not. It's a lie.
Right.
God.
By the way, the great healer, the racist himself.
Is that the one that married a man?
Yeah. He's got a property right on the shoreline. Isn't that going to wash away?
By
the way, that's not happening.
They're all going down. Every one of those guys, it's just going to go down in the ocean. They each have 5 billion. 5 of those mansions, they're all gone.
But our governor here wants us to go all electric. New York State, if there's a gas leak or something on your lawn, you're responsible now from the house to the street. That's Bucktooth Betty.
Yep.
All right, but she'll be by a warm campfire in the People's Palace.
You got it.
Defund the police, let the prisoners out. What she did to the COs is atrocious.
Yep.
Back up all these illegal bastards. Pay for their transectomies, their wienerectomies, their reconversions, all that. And what does she do for the American people? And don't even bring me up to Chuck Schumer, that coward. He's a disgrace to the Jewish people.
Wait, let me put my glasses down and tip my nose.
Disgrace.
From this I know.
All they talk about is fight, fight, fight. And lastly, I'll end on this. Friday night at the guillotine. The bum from Iowa.
Did you say Friday at the guillotine?
Friday night at the guillotine. The bum from Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Who's claiming now he can't get a fair trial. The super sexy Mangione who's getting panties mailed to him. This lunatic that just shot these people out in Minnesota.
Right.
Who was poor, but owns $1 million house. Let's just have Friday night at the guillotine.
Yeah, I pay. I pay big money. And did I get first row?
This bum they brought back from El Salvador.
El Salvador.
He's a great guy. He's a dad.
He
was fighting gangism. Yeah, he was.
He had about 12 spics in a van, bringing them up, going, "Andale, no, he's going to work. He's smuggling people in."
Let him live in your house. And one last final comment.
Oh, is it going to be? Because I don't want to.
I'm a Catholic, and I'm a little disappointed with the Catholic Church here, billing the individual churches for their molestation shit they let go.
Yeah, it's crap.
I put my money in the basket at Infinite Prague to run the lights and stuff there. I'm not paying for the Happy Jack finger bastards. That should come from the Catholic Church in Rome and the Vatican.
Damn right.
Not
and
these
they
parishes.
are loaded. They got the bank of the Vatican. Empty the vault. We're not paying.
And don't get me wrong, there's Happy Jacks in the mosques, in the temples.
Don't even start the mosques.
The holy rollers. There's a good touch, bad touch going on everywhere. Satan has his roots everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't see why these individual parishes have to pay. But what does the guy from Buffalo say? It makes us stronger in our devotion. No, it's a ripoff. You just want to close our churches.
No, it's terrible. And lastly, beware Alibaba. They're infiltrating.
The jihad is here. Pay attention.
Just so you know, every major city in the UK has a Islamic mayor, and all of Europe.
They're here.
Many of Europe has been repopulated with Islamic. Amsterdam is 52% Islamic.
This open border thing.
It's destroying. And they will rise up and just shoot you because you're Christian. And that's coming. And it's going to come to America if we don't shut it down.
By the way, we have our volunteer firemen today, by the way, doing a boot drive. So if you see the guys donate, none of these Haji Bobbies are signing up for the volunteer fire department. None of them. None of them. Are they going to help out? No, they just take, and change. It's like the people that leave the blue states and go to the red ones and then vote blue. These people come over here and then they start voting and stuff to make it like they came from. Beware the jihad, because it is amongst us.
Well, how the hell does that bitch in Minnesota get elected?
Because they formed a community,
yeah.
They picked the right spot and they put her in. But by the way, they're in for life. She's a millionaire on our money.
There's a so the big thing too was
pay for your own security, you bitch.
There's a Texas town that's all Islamic, and they will not let anybody that's not Islamic in. Can you imagine that?
It's
in
coming.
The state of Texas.
Well, you see these people. It's going to start getting hot around here. The men walk around with shorts and wife beaters, and the women are in these kebabs with burlap things around their heads.
Wait a minute, kebab, is that like chicken and
I
stuff?
don't know what the hell it is. Whatever they wear. I'll tell you what. Drop a little Bath and Body with these people, and it might change the whole damn jihad. Wait, you're telling me this is not what I thought? Screw! I like these.
Last thing I want to say.
Of these I didn't know.
Of these I didn't know. Well, there's one thing I do want to say, and I never knew this, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a education that I just learned. So we wonder how Congress and Senate get all their money, right? They make 170 grand. They're not going to be billionaires. Well, we know there's insider trading. They'll never stop that. But another thing I had never heard of, this was interesting, was the book deals. So somebody asked how Bernie Sanders got a lot of money, and the guy called in. He said, "This is how they do it, and not just Democrats, Republicans, everybody. They get a book deal. It's ghostwritten. They give him a couple quotes. All right. Yeah. Bernie Sanders writes a book. He didn't write it. It's ghostwritten. He gives them a couple quotes. Now, how does he get money? Well, the people that want him in power, the lobbyists, they go to the book company and say, "Here's $2.5 million. Give that to Bernie as an advance." Okay. Then they publish the book. Then the lobbyists buy up most of the copies. And then Bernie gets all the money residual from that and the $2.5 million. So Bernie now, what's happening is lobbyists are buying his vote, but legally. Nobody sees the transfer of money because it's through a book company. That's interesting, and they said that's been going on for 30, 40 years. I'd never heard that.
No, it's when they talk about the swamp. It's exactly one of the things they talk about.
That's right.
And this guy got elected. He's the only guy that's lost money running for office.
I know, because you don't take it.
And God bless, he's in there. I love the guy. He's not a racist. He's not any of that.
No.
They're going to throw, it's only been, 6 months?
Yeah.
And they're going to throw as much shit at the wall, gluing themselves to cars, trying to stop ICE. Where are they to help Americans?
Why are we helping ICE? The guy opened
ICE, the people that are taking them.
The guy opened the fucking border for 12 to 15 million illegals. Okay? Right. And that was okay. Okay, that's logical. But now taking illegals and shipping them back is illogical. What are we in the upside down world?
We told you on this show they were buying votes. They just broke it. All those licenses in a lot of states like Wisconsin, you just show a license, you can vote.
You can vote.
They're buying votes, guys. They don't care about Ali Akmak.
No, God.
Are they living in any of their palaces? No, but I got them around here now. You know, and whatever.
I saw. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I came up the other way, and in the driveway there was a camel.
They're there here. The thing is, they don't do well in the winter. I had one back here. I couldn't get it out of the snowdrift.
Ali Akbar.
But anyways,
hey,
you know we're going to tell you straight from the hip.
We're throwing it from the hip today.
Love
boys.
everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do a show before the draft.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do one during the draft. What the hell?
Why not?
We go live.
I think we do. We go
the
live
cab
again.
driver, of course, was mugged and killed. Anybody ask him? We used to have the guy that would give us the tip.
Tips are gone.
He was killed.
Anyway, have fun.
And by the way,
enjoy life.
I'm gonna end it with this: the 13 bus did destroy the Galleria Mall.
Did destroy the Galleria
Timmy,
Mall.
stay strong. Come get some. Stay strong, T.
Did destroy the Galleria Mall.
We don't have it.
Tom, we don't have it.
We don't have it. It's gone.